It's either fix the problem or bury your daughter. I don't know how else to put it.
I see what I've done to her.
She looks like crap. That's not my sister.
I am surprised she's not dead yet. A mother's quest to rescue her daughter from drugs. Look at me right now. What have you had today? Are you willing to do this? Because you got one chance, and it's right now. This family looks like any other family. It could be your family, but one of them is a prescription drug addict. And that has completely changed the dynamics of this family. The addict in the room says it all started when one of them was diagnosed with cancer and another family member made a terrible mistake. This show is for every parent who has ever wondered whether or not their child is secretly abusing drugs, prescription or otherwise. Are there signs going on right now and you don't even see them? It's an eye-opener show that no parent can afford to miss. This is going to be a changing day in your life.
10 seconds here.
I know things are tough out there, but we can do this. Here we go. I want you to get excited about your life.
4,
And ready,
3.
Let's do it. Go, Dr. Phil. Well, you've heard it all before. Your worst fear. Think about it. Gorgeous girl, happy child, cheerleader, basketball player, great student. She had it all. But then she turned to drugs and life changed in a very dark way. This is a story about a mother so desperate to save her daughter's life. She didn't see what was coming. She wrote email after email to me looking for my help. Paula says her 21-year-old daughter, CJ, went down the wrong road. We're talking about a hard drug addiction. Her husband, Jim, says CJ is going to die from mixing prescription pills, street drugs, over-the-counters, anything she can get her hands on. They've tried everything, rehab, counseling, even tough love. They even called one of my former guests, Joni. Now, Joni was a drug addict herself. I dealt with her one time on a primetime special and then subsequently on this show. She asked Joni to help them by shooting kind of a day-in-the-life video of their daughter's addiction. Joni never says no.
It's my sister's birthday, and I got 5 morphine. I'm gonna snort 3 of them and chew 2 of them.
CJ's life today is very sad.
You snorted how many milligrams of morphine?
I snorted 90, and I swallowed 60, so that's 150 total.
CJ has so many talents, and they would shine before she started drug use.
Cheerleading, her smile could just melt anybody's heart. CJ spends most of her time getting Lortab, Xanax, morphine, OxyContin, whatever she can get a hold of.
She's out here making a buy. I think she's getting pharmaceuticals. It looks like she's finally run into luck.
So is this pretty much your whole life, drugs every day?
Not every day. If I don't have the money for oxys, the more expensive things, and I have like $10, I'll spend $10 on some Xanax or something.
Whatever she can get a hold of, whatever she can trade, exchange.
Okay, so what did he give you?
8 morphine pills, and I have to get him a half of weed and a 12-pack of Bud Dry.
Where do you get the weed?
I'm trying to figure that out right now.
CJ's life is constantly searching for the next pill.
Today I've done 80 milligrams of OxyContin, a 10 milligram Adderall that a friend gave me. When I mix the OxyContin and Xanax, it makes me nod out.
She's kind of in the category of a garbage head. She takes almost anything.
It's just hard for Paula and I to see how she's throwing away her life at this point.
I do have a habit, and if I keep going out and going, then I'm going to end up in jail.
Well, Jim and Paula are here with their son, Anthony, CJ's brother. How do you feel about being here right now?
I feel very, very hopeful. more hope than I've felt in a long, long time.
How about you? How do you feel about being here?
I feel a little nervous, but I feel at peace. I feel at strength because we've been there, we've tried it all, and we feel like CJ's at the end of her life, and it's been a tough road for all of us.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Anthony?
I feel happy that we're here so that CJ can hopefully get her life back, but at the same time, I feel like we shouldn't even be here in the first place. We shouldn't have come close to being this far.
You'd like to just shake her till her teeth rattled, wouldn't you?
I've actually tried that years ago. I've tried everything that a brother and a friend could have done.
All right, you guys have seen this show before. In fact, you know a lot about me. And you know I'm going to tell you the truth as I see it. You can agree with it or not, but we've got to call a spade here. Yes. So let's just get right down to it. Here are the choices. We're either going to get this fixed or you're going to bury your daughter.
That's right.
I mean, let's just put it on the table. That's the deal. I am surprised she's not dead yet.
We are too.
That's right.
But you're either going to pick her up in a body bag or we're going to turn this around. She is right there. She is on the cusp right now. A lot of different ways she can die. She can get killed by hanging out with these ridiculous, stupid drug addicts. She can OD. She can get so despondent and mentally out of whack that she kills herself. Mm-hmm. The risk here are legion. And the reason I wanted to talk to you guys first is because we've got to get this, we've got to be on the same page here, that we understand what we're doing here. It's either fix the problem or bury your daughter. I don't know how else to put it. Am I being clear enough?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that means you guys have to get your thinking right, and we have to understand here, because I'm hearing a lot of guilt out of you two about not seeing this sooner, about putting stress and pressure on her. I'm hearing guilt that's running in parallel with denial. You feel like you weren't there for her because you had cancer.
June of 1999. I knew something was wrong and went into the doctor, and they found a mass the size of a baby's head on my right ovary. I was looking at maybe a few years.
There's dreams that are coming true, but there's dreams that are being lost, and that's CJ. And that's very bittersweet to me. We really weren't able to be there for her like we could have been or should have been. We were so busy trying to survive. I can't fully enjoy all the blessings of survival without my daughter. Somehow, CJ disconnected. You can see how CJ just kept distancing herself from the fear of losing her mom.
What I hear you saying is, I feel so guilty because I wasn't there because I had cancer. Well, how dare you? How dare you get cancer? Are you kidding me? That's not something you feel guilty about. That's just a reality of the family.
But there is a part of me that somehow I was lost, and she was lost at the same time.
And it's everything after you said but that I'm focused on here. You've got to get past that, because we're not going to play semantics here. We can't play the blame game and the guilt game. Now, Paula and Jim think that CJ's only taking prescription drugs. But let me tell you, there is so much more to this story they don't know. We're going to put that on the table, because you can't heal, you can't fix, you can't change what you don't acknowledge. We'll be right back.
CJ has done and the choices she made. She's a master at deception. CJ can take you for everything you got. She'll have you buying into her pity party quicker than anything. I felt like grabbing CJ up by the scruff of her neck, throwing her in the backyard, and knocking her from one end of the backyard to the other. And the only thing that's preventing me from doing that is the fact that she's a girl. Sometimes I wish she would go to jail. Maybe that's the swift kick in the hind end that she needs.
Well, that was Anthony, CJ's brother, and he is understandably very upset with his sister, because he says that she's just ruining their family. Now, Paul and Jim, they're saying, look, we're out of options. We don't know what to do with our daughter's drug addiction. Now, and CJ has a long list of prescription and street drugs that she takes on a daily basis with no concern or information about the combination of effects, because one drug can potentiate another and make it much more lethal. It can energize it. It can make it be absorbed at a greater rate. The two can get together and create an effect that can be devastating. Now, this is a list of the drugs, and I want you all to know what she's taken. OxyContin, Lortab, Percocet, Vicodin, Adderall, Xanax, morphine pills, ice, which is meth, that is kind of a new addition, heroin, and a family friend, by her description, shot her up with heroin last week. The parents don't know about this, but they think highly of this friend. So what I'm telling you is this runs wider, it runs deeper, and it runs more dangerous than what you guys are aware of. And she mixes these drugs on a regular basis. Joni, true?
Her favorite combination is opiates and Xanax, or tranquilizers. And that combination together is very dangerous. But on the other hand, she's a bit of a garbage head. She'll do anything that you have.
How is she getting these drugs without money, in your opinion?
In my opinion, CJ gets the drugs by her opportunity of clutching onto men. She spends a lot of time with different men. Not prostitution in the traditional sense, but she's young, she's beautiful. And Paula, and I've talked about this, she goes from one man's bed to another, and I believe that's how she supports a drug habit.
What do you think about that, Dad, Mom?
It's very sad as a father. It's very sad. We've lived with two of our greatest fears that I've shared with CJ for a long time. And I told CJ, I said, CJ, my greatest fears are you're going to be in prison for a long time, or we're going to be at the cemetery visiting your grave. And when Joni came in, she told me that my fears were real.
Do you feel ownership in this situation?
Yes, I do.
Because she says to us in talking to her that you've let her down because you had what she calls an affair, and you call it falling away. You call it what?
I broke.
You say you don't like to use the word affair.
Well,
I mean, I don't want to play semantics with you.
No. One day, I went the wrong direction.
Okay. After almost a year of chemotherapy and struggling to survive her cancer, Paula discovered an email from another woman detailing a sexual encounter with Jim, and this is something that CJ is full aware of. Take a look.
It just started as a, hi, how you doing? And it escalated. A few weeks later, there was a time and a place, and I saw that friend and I broke, and I stepped outside of my marriage where I shouldn't have went.
Now, Jim says it was a one-time thing because the thought of losing Paula was just too much for him to bear, but when Paula read this email, she broke down.
Finding out about my husband's affair sent me into another deep, dark pit. And my first thought was, oh my dear Lord, how am I going to get out of this one?
Well, Paula's son Anthony was the last one to know about it, but it affected the entire family.
What? What are you talking about? This is 9 years ago, and I'm just now hearing about it. How did she know about this? And everyone but their dog knew about this but me. My dad and I still haven't sat down and talked about it, and I really don't think we ever will. Is there anything else that you're not telling me that I should know about? Am I in this family or not?
Okay, look. You have to understand, CJ made her choices, but everybody has a role in this. This didn't happen in a vacuum. And then what do you have to do with this? You're the good kid. I mean, everybody looks for a role in the family. You're the mom, you're the dad, you're the good kid. When we come back, we're going to bring her out and talk to her as well. Once I know this family's leaning forward with me, blinders full off, then we're going to deal with it, and I'm going to tell them what that means before she walks out here. Well, today we're talking to Paula, Jim, and their son Anthony about their daughter, CJ, Anthony's sister. She's a drug addict. I think she's a very dangerous drug addict. So here's the deal. We have to understand what we're dealing with, and I have to understand what you are willing to do to get her the help and pull her back from what I think is the brink of death. Are you willing to do what it takes?
Absolutely.
Because here's what I'm talking about. You know, we'll bring her out here in a minute, and I'm going to talk to her, and we're going to get as real about this as you can get. And she's either going to agree to surrender her liberty, she's going to agree to do some things to give herself a chance to live, or you have to be willing to do whatever it takes to get a cop and follow her and have her arrested, get her to do a drug buy from an undercover cop, catch her holding, do whatever you have to do. If you have to put her under the jail for 5 years, you have to decide, I would rather have my daughter alive in jail than dead on the street.
That's right.
That's what you have to make a decision about. And because you're in law enforcement, this isn't happy news for you. But I mean, the question is, are y'all willing to do that? Because either she will voluntarily get out of this drug environment, or you have to involuntarily take her out of this drug environment. It's that choice or bury her, in my opinion.
I want my daughter back, and I'll do anything. And we have gone to the law. We have gone to them to try to get them to push her, back her into a corner, to arrest her. We have gone that direction.
Well, let me tell you, this can get done, trust me. And I know you tried to get drug tests 3 times a month and stuff like that. 3 times a month, she's using 10 times a day.
We were doing good to get it moved from 1 to 2 to 3.
She could be clean on the first one and dead before the second one. We have to be willing to do whatever it takes.
We'll do it.
And where do you come down on this?
I'm willing to do whatever it takes. I'm with them. I'm full on board. The conflict that I have is, yes, I'm in law enforcement, and I see junkies every day I go to work. It's a little bit different when it's your sister, because every time we bring in a new intake, a new prisoner, a new inmate, and I know it's a female, the first thing that enters my mind, God, don't let it be CJ. Not while I'm here, at least. And I pulled up her booking photos. I know her mug shots. And she looks like crap. And she doesn't, that's not my sister. Yeah, that tears me up.
But it is your sister.
That is my sister.
And you can be mad at her, and you have the right to be. But you don't want to see her dead.
No. I would rather her wear an orange jumpsuit than be in a grave, absolutely.
So we on the same page here?
Yes.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever.
Because we could have had her busted right here in L.A. since she got here. I'm going to tell you about that in a minute. Well, CJ is here. Let's bring her out.
Hi.
CJ, Dr. Phil, how you doing?
Good.
We'll talk to CJ when we come back. Today we're talking to a family in crisis, and it's Paula, Jim, Anthony, and CJ, the daughter in this family that's a drug addict. I didn't say that we have a daughter in crisis. I said that we have a family in crisis because it affects every member of this family both ways. Everybody's involved. Everybody has to be involved. Now, CJ landed here in Los Angeles. And let's take a look at her activities when she hit the ground.
So how are you feeling?
I really want to get high.
Did you bring anything with you?
Xanax, that's it.
I'm gonna go try to find some drugs so I can feel better.
CJ, CJ asked him some guy if he can hook her up?
I just talked to a guy. I asked him if he knew where to get a joint. And I said, I'm actually looking for some pain pills. He said, well, I have a buddy that can get pretty much whatever you want.
Did you get it? Did you get it?
Yeah.
CJ has been here since 1:30. That's less than an hour and a half, and she's already
Scored a joint of weed.
That seems a little at odds with being excited about being here to try to get your life in order.
Mm-hmm.
Square that up for me.
When I showed up, I was really stressed out, and I figured instead of going to try to get, heroin or whatever, maybe I can just get a joint and that'll calm me down, instead of getting more high, because that's just more destructive.
Mm-hmm. Look at me right now. What have you had today?
Xanax.
Because you seem real flat. You seem real altered.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed? She look right to you?
No.
You don't look right to me.
Yeah, I took a Xanax bar about hour and a half ago, about 9:30.
Why'd you do that?
Because I knew that you were going to be pretty rough on me, so.
It's going to be pretty rough on you, you think?
I don't know.
Well, you bought marijuana from a person you met after being here an hour and a half. You gave her $20 to buy a T-shirt. She spent it on marijuana. Joni gave her the money for the T-shirt. You made an appointment with somebody for pills last night, right?
Not an appointment.
Call it what you want. You were trying to hook up with somebody to get some pills last night at 8 o'clock,
right.
8 p.m.
He gave me, or I gave him the number to reach me at. So, yeah, you could call it an appointment.
Last night, you went into a stairwell to make a marijuana deal. And you just been looking for drugs since you got here, right?
Yeah. And actually, I'm happy that I got a joint rather than, a hit of Oxycontin or whatever.
Well, here's the last few days. On the 31st, she scored tar heroin. On the 1st, ice, meth. On the 2nd, $100 worth of heroin. On the 2nd, thought about robbing a pharmacy. Let's rob the pharmacy to get some pills. On the 4th, was into the Xanax. I could go on, but that's what we're dealing with here. You want to die?
At times, yeah, I have, but I don't. I'm surprised I'm not dead yet. So that tells me I'm here for a reason. And yeah, I'm a drug addict. And
so why are you on drugs?
I've been irresponsible, and I've dealt with pain in my life the wrong way.
Pain from these folks as well.
Yeah, and pain that I've caused on my own. Things that I've done. It hasn't just been my parents. They've been the best parents in the world.
I want you to look at them right now. Look at your parents. And I don't mean look at them. I mean, I want you to look your mother in the eye. No, don't look away. Look her in the eye. Why can't you look at her?
Because I see what I've done to her. And she's the most precious woman to me, and how can I do that to my mom, who's already been through enough?
Look at your dad. Look him in the eye. Don't look away. Look him in the eye. You think he cares about you?
Oh, yeah.
What do you see in his eyes? Look him in the eye and tell me what you see.
Love for me, but yet pain and hope, and I see that he'll never give up on me, and he hasn't. Neither one of them have. And I see a very strong man, a man that I love and forgive no matter what.
Look your brother in the eye. Is she in there, Anthony? When you look at her, is that little girl in there that you grew up with, that you played with, that you played tricks on the family with?
Yes. But I haven't seen her in years. But if that little girl wasn't in there, I wouldn't be here.
When we come back, Joni thinks CJ is just steps away from prostituting herself for pills. I'm going to ask her about that and ask her what she thinks her future holds when we come back.
Happy birthday to the woman I admire more than anyone in the world. With all my heart, I am sorry for the pain I've caused you, but it stops here.
Once it starts getting a little bit hard, you know, I hope you're serious about saying you're ready.
Well, that was just 2 weeks ago when CJ apologized to her mother. Of course, it didn't last very long. She's right back where she started, still popping pills, doing drugs on the street. CJ will take a couple of Xanax to calm down, a few Adderall to pep back up, and then some Loratabs to numb her brain, all in one day. She says she prefers prescription drugs over street drugs because at least she knows what she's getting. So where does she get these pills?
CJ's not in denial about being a drug addict. CJ is in denial about what it is she's doing to acquire these drugs, prostitution. She doesn't have a job. She doesn't have any money. I think most of us can assume what it is that she is doing to acquire and maintain a drug habit. In the 4 nights that I was with CJ, she spent the night with 3 different men. There's a man in CJ's life. She describes him as a friend, although when I picked her up at his house, she was in bed with him.
He's not just a drug dealer for me, he's a very good friend of mine also.
She also has a quadriplegic friend that she parties with.
Yeah, and he lays in his bed all day and smokes a lot of crack.
So this is where you're gonna go hang out? Mm-hmm. There was a time when CJ relayed a story about an older man who was going to give her Xanax bars.
He said, well, I was thinking maybe we could do a little trade. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, well, you know, like get your panties off.
She got the Xanax. You can pretty much do the math.
You want another story on that?
No, not really. If there's something you want to say, in general you can, but I don't want to hear a story. No, I'm not interested in story.
No, I'm going to
because I
tell
know
you the truth.
I know the facts. The facts are you're taking drugs. I don't really care where you're getting them. Do you want to say that you're not prostituting yourself?
I have never had sex with anybody for drugs. Never.
But you were with 3 different men on 4 different nights.
Right.
And you came away with drugs. I mean, that's a yes or no.
No.
Okay, so you didn't come away with drugs. You
the Xanax guy, when he said that to me, I said, well, I told my mom that I would go give her a couple. So he said, well, I'll give you a couple to go take to your mom and then you can come back. And because I said, I'm not going to get out of here. After him telling me this, I'm not walking out of here without anything. So he gave me those 2. I walked out of there, and it showed 2 right there.
Okay,
and I called him, and I said, that's not me. Okay. I'm not going to do that.
Okay. So that's not true?
No.
So you've refuted that fully and completely?
Yeah, and that's the honest true.
So what's your point?
My point
so
is
I'm so
I
relieved.
did not
So
have...
you're not a drug addict. You're not putting your life in danger every day. You're not killing these people from the inside out, and we're not going to find you in a body bag because you shut down your respiration from an overdose. Is that the so?
The so is I did not have sex with that guy for those Xanax bars.
Okay.
And Dr. Phil, I don't mean this disrespectfully, but you can beat me up all you want. But obviously I beat myself up enough.
Listen. Don't play the victim with me, lady.
I'm not
Don't play
to.
the victim with me. You got to own what you're doing. Joining us today is Dr. Travis Stork. Dr. Stork is the host of the new hit show, The Doctors, where they talk about the medical realities of your life. She says, I don't take street drugs, I take prescription drugs because I know what's in them. Now, she's getting them from some guy's hand. She's not getting them from a licensed pharmacist prescribed by a physician. Can she know what's in those drugs?
Absolutely not, but it's not safe either way.
Of course it's not safe either way, but the truth is there are a lot of counterfeit drugs on the street, and they're not mixed with precision, and you don't know what's in them, true?
Absolutely.
So you really don't know what you're getting. They can be stamped, they can be labeled, and even if they are prescription drugs, is it still dangerous?
Yes.
Tell her why.
Almost every single night in the ER, I see someone come into the ER, oftentimes from prescription drug abuse, an overdose where they stop breathing, and we just have to pray to God that they get to the ER in time before they're dead.
I mean, I'm a drug addict, you know, but I mean, I've seen his prescription bottle, but that doesn't mean that it's still safe.
Okay, let's assume that those things are brought to you from on high, from the most perfectly controlled pharmacy in the history of the world, and you're getting exactly what you think you're getting.
Right.
You're playing Russian roulette.
I agree with that.
Because I checked, and I don't think I saw a medical degree on your intake form.
No, I'm not a doctor.
So there's a fair chance you don't know what the hell you're talking about, and you don't know what you're taking. You don't know how this drug interacts with this drug. And isn't it true that you often can't remember what you took when?
Yeah, that's true.
So
that's
you don't
why
know
I say
if
I'm
this is the
surprised
8th
I'm not
tablet
dead yet.
or the 20th tablet. You don't really know with precision.
That's why I'm sitting here saying I'm a drug addict and I need help.
I want to introduce you to somebody when we come back. We're going to meet a family who recently lost their 20-year-old son to a deadly mixture of prescription drugs. They're here. They got something, I'm sure, to say to you, to these parents, and to all parents out there. We'll be right back. Today we're talking about how easy it is for prescription drugs to ruin a life, to rob health, to tear apart a family. And they're so easy to get these days over the internet and every other kind of way. Paula and Jim, we're talking about two loving, caring, devoted parents. We're not talking about head in the clouds enablers here. They're struggling with their 21-year-old daughter, CJ, who has, by her own description, a drug addiction. She says, I can't believe I'm not dead. Well, earlier this year, actor Heath Ledger died of an accidental overdose of prescription drugs. He combined a total of 6 different prescriptions, including antidepressants and painkillers. Arlene and David know firsthand what it's like to lose a loved one to prescription drugs. Their 20-year-old son, Jeffrey, died a week before Heath Ledger passed away. David found his son in bed, dead. He took Oxycontin, diazepam, and anti-anxiety medications as well. I am so sorry for your loss. One thing you'll never hear me say is I know how you feel, because if you don't walk in that room and pull back those covers, you just can't possibly know. What'd you want to say?
We just want to bring awareness to anyone who's listening or watching to this program that it hit us, it just blindsided us. You know, we had no no way of knowing. There were no symptoms other than probably a month before. He just was tired. And, and it just blindsided us. It is, as Dr. Phil has said, they can get it wherever. He was a good boy. He worked, had a job, was a good student. He was in college, had future plans. And, our society, we all want to escape all the stresses.
Well, David, what do you think about what you've heard me say to these parents? What would you give for a second chance to do what I'm telling them?
Dr. Phil, if I had that option, if that option had been given me, I would be going down the same road you've been given. I'd take the same steps. But that wasn't the plan, and that wasn't the option I got. I was completely blindsided. We didn't know until the day I walked in to my son's room.
I want to introduce you to two people. A year ago, Joni hit the streets to find our former guest that you've met, one of the heroin twins, Tekoa. She was relapsing, she was homeless, she was pregnant, she was prostituting herself for drugs. Joni brought Tekoa to me, and we sent her to Rich Whitman at La Hacienda. You'll remember Tekoa. She was what y'all dubbed one of the heroin twins. Rich is back with Tekoa, and Tekoa is celebrating 1 year of sobriety. She is totally clean at this point. Tekoa, stand up. Tekoa, stand up. So how familiar does this story sound to you?
Very familiar. I know exactly what you're feeling. I've been there, and I'm here to tell you don't have to live like that anymore. You don't.
I flew Rich in here today from La Hacienda in Texas, and he has agreed and is prepared to take you from here to there. You don't go home, you don't pass go, you don't go do one more score. The first thing they're going to do is search everything you have to make sure you're clean and take you to rehab. And I'm going to tell you folks, there's a good chance she's going to be gone a long, long time. Are you willing to do this?
Yeah.
Because you got one chance, and it's right now.
If I don't take it, I'll end up dead or in jail, probably dead first. So, yeah, let's go right now.
We'll see. Be right back. Today we've been talking about a very complex and life-threatening disease and situation. The main thing I want you to do after this show is go to drphil.com, because I am going to list the warning signs that you as parents need to watch for to see whether or not your kids may be involved in some type of drug activity. I want to thank my guests for being here today. Guys, I know this is tough, but I think you've taken a big step in the right direction, and they don't play at this at La Hacienda. It is, in my opinion, drug rehab-wise, there's La Hacienda and everybody else. Okay? If you're struggling with an addiction, or maybe it's your child, you can tell us your story by logging on to drphil.com. Click on Be a Guest. Maybe we can help you as well. Don't forget to go to drphil.com. I'm going to have all the information you need right there. Thanks for being here. So long.
The following program contains strong sexual content. Viewer discretion advised. Today on Dr. Phil.
My husband hid a camera in our bedroom and took unwanted photos of me nude, and then he posted them online.
She feels violated.
In the photos, you could see that I was just getting out of the shower. This is my home. This is my bedroom.
Embarrassed.
Your children saw this.
They're the ones who brought it to my attention.
And it's tearing her family apart.
He is a peeping Tom. It should have been a stranger, but it's not. It's my dad.
You won't believe.
There is not a woman on the face of this earth that would be okay with what you did.
Why he says he did it.
She did give me permission, and she actually said, I don't really care what you do as long as I don't know.
Did I say put pictures of me on the internet? Did I say that?
You sound delusional.
If you're going to speak to me in that tone, I have no interest to stand on the stage.
You do whatever you want to do. Let's do it. Why don't we stop all the drama, stop all the fighting, and let's go get you better.
Here we go. Have a good show, everybody.
If I can help get this family back on track, are you willing to do that?
Ready, green. Take.
This is going to be a changing day in your life. Go, Dr. Phil. Well, take a look at this picture of Deborah's bathroom and her bedroom. She claims a peeping Tom secretly videotaped her in these most private areas without her knowledge, and then pulled still photos from the hidden video and gave them away to a stranger. The photos ended up on a porn site. You won't believe who the perpetrator was. The man who violated her privacy was, get this, none other than her own husband.
My husband ripped my family apart by exposing pictures of me nude on the internet. A couple of years ago, I decided to have gastric sleeve surgery. Henry's behavior changed. He just became more and more obsessive and possessive. Henry hid a camera in our bedroom, took unwanted photos of me nude, and then he posted them on a pornographic website. My son found the photos first. He saw pictures of me and he was like, that can't be my mom, that can't be my mom. He immediately went to his sister. My daughter showed me the photos. It's so heartbreaking to be exposed that way. And his answer was, I didn't do it. I just sent a photo of you to another guy. Right now, I am on a verge of a divorce. I cannot see a future with Henry. I know I can't trust my husband again.
Deborah, what in the hell is going on?
Dr. Phil, my kids found pictures of me nude, my children, that my husband took, and I'm so violated. I feel like a leper.
I get it. Take me through the moment that you found out about this. Who told you?
My daughter's 22. She said, Mom, Dad took pictures of you, and Michael found them. Michael was too fearful to show me.
So she showed you the pictures?
She showed me pictures, and there was quite a few of them, and like I really had to look at them to make sure that it was me, because who would ever think that you would be violated in your own home? And then I looked and I saw, certain items in the bathroom, or, my underwear. I saw that I wasn't posing. I saw that my head was down. I was getting changed. I saw that I was just getting out of the shower in my own home. I saw that. In the photos, you could see that. It wasn't like I was, hey, I lost weight and, look at us and we're having fun. It wasn't like that.
What did you say to yourself? What did you feel?
Extremely violated. Just violated. I don't know, and embarrassed. And it's not just me and him, meaning me and my husband. It's the kids who were involved with it right away.
Your children saw this.
Because if they didn't, how would I know? But they're the ones who brought it to my attention. that's where I am right now. I am mourning the loss of my family.
Did you know at that moment, at that point, did you know that these had found their way onto a porn site?
Honestly, I didn't know that they were like out there. I didn't know. And then, of course, the children would say, "This is where you are, Ma. You're on this site."
When you found out that you were on this XXX porn
Whatever.
site,
Yeah.
what did you think then?
Oh, then I just knew that things were never, ever going to be the same, ever. Just ever.
So
Ever.
people world around could go on this porn site and there
and see
you
me
are.
nude, yeah, without me wanting to be there, yeah.
Now, you had weighed quite a bit more before.
Yeah, I was a big girl my whole life, and it took me over 7 years to make the decision to get a gastric sleeve. So my highest weight was like 335, and now I think I'm around 200, but yeah.
And at some point along the way, you had said, you can take pictures of me, right?
Yeah, a little bit, not crazy.
And these photos that he would take that were playful, were there ever times that you playfully would like flash him or something?
Maybe once, just once, and honestly, it might have been after a couple of drinks.
Okay, but there was never a time
Oh, no.
that you said, you have permission to take naked photos of me without my awareness and post them on a porn site or share them with somebody else?
6 zillion %. There is no way I've ever given permission to take nude pictures of me. Okay, I have skin hanging. I have 130 pounds of excess skin, and I'm still uncomfortable in my own skin. To me, I'm still the same person. You might see me differently from the out, but I'm still me. I'm still the big girl.
Well, Deborah's husband, Henry, says she needs to take ownership of her actions in this situation. We'll find out what he means by that, because he's here and he's going to come out and tell us his side of this story when we come back.
I would have my iPhone, take videos, and I would record my wife. The video would randomly happen as she came back and forth into the room nude. And then afterwards, I would shut the phone off and cut up pictures from the video. This is just a simple case of sharing pictures with somebody you know or a friend, and it just got out of hand and blown out of proportion.
And later, out of all of the 100,000 porn websites, he went to one that had his mother
on your phone.
On your phone.
On your phone.
If we're going to be here to persecute me, there's no reason for me to...
Listen, don't insult me in that way. Are you kidding me?
I don't know how I'll ever get through that my son found these pictures of me. The photos that my husband took were posted on a pornographic website. I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. You look up porn and nasty stuff, and that's where I was. It truly doesn't make sense. And why would you want to put your wife out there anyway?
Well, Deborah says that her husband Henry's obsession with her turned him into a peeping Tom, who secretly recorded her for months in their own home. Now, here is Henry's side of the story.
I've been married to my wife about 28 years. On my wife's 50th birthday a few years ago, she had a gastric bypass. After gastric bypass surgery, unbeknownst to me, there is a high propensity for alcoholism. My wife developed a taste for vodka. Then the intimacy slowed down. She would say to me, you know what, I have no interest, but you have 5 minutes. The clock is running. And it hurt me immensely. I was reaching out to different porn sites to find resemblance of my wife, BBW, beautiful big women. I was just trying to rewind the clock and get my wife back somehow. These were plus size, heavy-set women. While in the middle of all of this, I befriended another man on a website. He had shared some nude pictures of his wife, and after a time, I in turn shared some of my nude pictures of my wife with him. In our relationship, over the years, my wife would actually give me permission to take nude pictures of her. At one point, she actually said, I don't really care what you do, as long as I don't know. In my mind, she had given me a pass as long as she said she wasn't aware of it. I would have my iPhone, take videos, and I would record my wife. The video would randomly happen as she came back and forth into the room nude. And then afterwards, I would shut the phone off and cut up pictures from the video. I probably recorded my wife about 20 different times. I had no idea that he was posting these on the website. The perception of all of this was that I actually had some sort of surveillance cameras put all around the house. That's far from the truth. It was basically my computer, my iPhone, and that's it. My son found photographs on the internet. At that point, all hell broke loose. Everybody was in the room at that time, and they were looking at me like they wanted to kill me. And they had said things from get the out of the house, pedophile, sick. My daughter, for some reason, she started thinking she was paying the mortgage. Told me, we don't want you in this house. I was out of the house for approximately 2 months. I came back into the house after my wife pleaded with me, I need help, so I came back and I helped her. I am no longer allowed to sleep in the bedroom unless she's not in the house. In no way, shape, or form there's any intimacy whatsoever. To me, this is just a simple case of sharing pictures with somebody you know or a friend, and it just got out of hand and blown out of proportion. I'm trying to save my marriage. I would like to have my wife trust me again.
Okay, so am I right then in hearing what you're saying, that you think you have committed no transgression here whatsoever?
I never said that. I'm totally responsible for my actions. That being said, the platform that it was exposed to everybody was never my intention whatsoever.
Okay, but actually you did say that. You said you felt like you had her permission.
She did actually
to
say
do
that.
this.
Right.
So if
What
you
I'm
had
saying-
her permission, then where is the transgression?
Regardless of what she gave me permission for, I'm talking about as far as what I did. She did give me permission. She said, I spoke to her about this once before. She said she doesn't remember.
Did I say put pictures of me on the internet?
Well, we have a history of...
Did I say put pictures of me on the internet? Did I say that?
No, you didn't.
Okay. Did I say take nude photos of me? Did I say that?
You said at one point you didn't care.
Did I say that to you?
You said I didn't care. Did you ever
You
send
could
those?
tell that I was not
We have
posing.
a history of nude photographs she took when we were younger. Not only did she take them, she sent them to me. So this is not something new. We have a history of this. You remember those pictures that you sent me?
We were teenagers.
Teenagers. And up
Now
until
we're a
couple
family.
months...
Now we're a family.
I understand what
And
family.
we
They
have
should have never gotten
children
to
living in the house.
They should have never gotten to family's hand.
No.
That's the point I'm trying to
Well,
make.
they wouldn't have if you didn't put them out there.
Did you or did you ever not give me willingly, even if it was 1,000 years ago?
Yeah, a couple of pictures 1,000 years
5,
ago,
6,
yeah.
okay.
But
And
did
at
I
any-
say put them
at
out
any
there? They were
point,
for
did
you.
you ever say to me that I could take naked pictures of you, ever?
Yeah, when I was drunk. Maybe once.
That's part of the problem.
Once.
Okay, wait a minute. Did she ever tell you you can take pictures of her then, now, or any time in between and send them to another man?
No.
Because you kind of glossed over that.
No.
You said when you were teens, you sent me nude pictures of yourself, but you sent these to another man.
Yep.
Yes, I did.
So what about that? Is that a transgression?
It's a travesty. It's a transgression. I take total ownership of it. At the time, I had problems with alcohol and pills as well. Not making an excuse for what I did, but that's the truth.
Well, what is it if it's not an excuse? Because you're saying she gave you permission to do this. You left out the part of the fact that you sent him to another man, and you didn't put him on the internet. He did, correct?
Mm-hmm.
There was something you said in your pre-interview, and it's in quotes. You said, quote, at the time, I was so paranoid about being caught that I knew I didn't want to communicate with someone in the U.S. The person I exchanged pics with was overseas in Europe or Germany.
Correct.
That's a quote from you, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you thought you had permission, what were you paranoid about?
The permission was to take the pictures, not to share them with anybody.
Why share them then?
Situation was, like we had said earlier, that she had the gastric bypass. 3 summers ago, basically, we were by ourselves for about 2 months. We were like kid again, teenagers, not only intimacy, everything was great. Definitely sex, as much as you wanted. It was the way it was, but then all of a sudden that stopped. It got to a point in the bedroom that she was embarrassed to be with me, even though we were just together. She would cover herself up, she would say certain things, and other people may have shrugged that off, Dr. Phil, but honestly, it brought me to my knees. I was devastated. And the reason why I did what I did is because the excitement in the bedroom was no longer, and I looked elsewhere, and I didn't want to cheat on my wife. I know it sounds stupid, but that's the truth. Otherwise, this would have never happened.
Okay, so you sent them to someone that you didn't know.
Right.
And the screen name was, you said, either Jammer or Bammer.
Right.
So there's somebody you don't know with a screen name Jammer or Bammer that you're talking to in a chat room of a porn website. What possibly could go wrong here?
I said the same thing.
And you said, and I quote, I think Deborah has to take ownership of her actions in this situation. She turned me down for sex and told me she had to drink to have sex with me. She has to own her actions, her depression, and the way she treated me during that time. So but she needs to own that. Therefore, she has some responsibility for you taking these pictures without her knowledge and Bammer or Jammer putting them on a porn website. She has some ownership in that, is your point.
That's my point.
That's absurd.
Okay.
That's beyond absurd. Come on, I'm just telling you the truth.
You want me to lie?
Somebody
I'm not
needs
saying
to.
it's not absurd. I'm not saying it's an act that should be accepted. I know all of that. You want the truth, you want a fabrication, Dr. Phil.
I want the truth.
That is the truth.
You want the truth from me?
That's fine.
You want the truth from me, or you want me to blow smoke?
I wouldn't like that because I'm not comfortable.
She says she told you that you told her you set that camera up so you could see if your kids were stealing vodka and Xanax from your bedroom.
That was partially true at the time.
Well, she said that's what you told her. That's why that camera was there. Is that true or not?
Yes, it is true. The red light, if you'd see the red light on the computer, you know that it's being taped, and you're like, oh my God, see the red light on the computer, you know that it's being taped, and you're like, oh my God, he's taping again. And then he put black tape over it, so you can't see that you're being taped. So it's sneaking, and then it's on top of that. I don't even know the word to use for it. I don't know. That's beyond. This is my home. This is my home. This is my bedroom.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to meet their daughter, Demi, who says she is 100% certain that her father secretly videotaped her too. I hope that's not right, but that's how she feels. We'll be right back.
My brother whispers to me, I saw naked pictures of Mommy. There she is for the whole entire world to see. Not posing, not smiling. She was just getting out of the shower. There was nobody else that could have taken those pictures other than my father. My father turned out to be a monster.
And later, there is not a woman on the face of this earth that would be okay with what you did. How do you trust somebody you don't even know? His name is Jammer, and he's on a porn site.
My wife said to me that she always kind of felt uncomfortable with all the attention I had given her after she lost the weight. And I had told her, and I'll tell anybody who asks, you have a situation where you have a woman who was deemed extremely well overweight, and then you turn around 6, 7 months later, and basically more beautiful than she's ever been in a relationship. I was definitely wholeheartedly infatuated, and yeah, I am guilty of being obsessed. It's the truth.
Well, Henry admits to using his computer's webcam to record nude video of his wife, Deborah, without her knowledge, but claims he has no idea that the images were going to end up on a porn site. Their 22-year-old daughter, Demi, says she cannot stand to look at her father, who she calls the definition of disgusting. Let's listen to what she has to say.
My father has ripped my family apart because he is a peeping Tom. A week after we moved into this house, my whole world shattered. We were sitting on the couch, and my brother whispers to me, I saw naked pictures of Mommy on Dad's phone. I got his phone, and there were actually naked pictures of another woman, but I saw the website it was on. I grabbed the computer, and I searched on the same website until I found my mother's naked pictures. There she is for the whole entire world to see. Not posing, not smiling. She was just getting out of the shower. It was nothing sexy, nothing cute. It was just a naked woman. This was taken from inside of her bedroom. There was nobody else that could have taken those pictures other than my father. There were 15 photographs of my mother. The hashtags were the most heart-wrenching thing I've ever seen. Labeling my mother as big, beautiful woman, ass, belly, chuck ground beef. They're just tagged on my mother. It wasn't his wife, it wasn't my mother. She was just somebody to get somebody. When my mother wanted to press charges, the cops told me that if he was a stranger, that he would be locked up for 15 years and charged with a felony for the rest of his life. But because he lived in my house and we knew him, there was nothing we could do. I get nauseous when I think about it. I still cannot believe what my father has done. What he did is absolutely unforgivable. My father turned out to be a monster.
Demi, you've been listening to what we've been talking about so far. What did you want to add to this conversation?
That I know he knew they were online. I'm sick of the excuses. The only way to figure it out is to know. I know that he knew. They were seen on his phone. That's when my brother first saw them. And it can't just be blown over like it didn't happen. It happened, and it should have been a stranger, somebody crazy. But it's not. It's my dad.
Well, why do you say he knew they were online?
Because when my brother first saw them, he saw them on the phone. He was hesitant to tell anybody. They were pulled up on his phone.
They weren't saved images. They were actually...
Yes, on
He was
Safari.
on the website on his phone.
Yes.
Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
So you had gone to the website and looked at the pictures on your phone?
No.
How were they online?
My son has a propensity to visit many porn sites. When he asks for my phone, computer, my wife's computer, this is not a lie. We've seen in the history that my son likes to frequent porn sites.
So he just coincidentally went to a website out of the tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of websites. He went to a website out of all of the 100,000 porn websites. He went to one that had his mother
on your phone.
On your phone.
On your phone.
That I didn't say I never visited the website. That website I definitely went to.
Well, I mean, come on. Listen, you sound delusional.
Well, I am delusional. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here. That's the truth.
It truly is, and that's the
Really?
saddest
We're going to be
part.
here to persecute me. There's no reason for me to sit up here.
Listen, don't insult me in that way. Are you kidding me?
What do you get upset for?
Are you kidding me? Because you are insulting.
Well, then I apologize. Then maybe
then you need to apologize. You need to apologize to her.
I apologize to everybody. Okay?
That's what I live with at home.
But to say this was a random...
Come on with that arrogant attitude.
I'm not arrogant. Why are you saying that for?
Because I'm asking you legitimate questions.
If you're going to speak to me in that tone, I have no interest to stand on the stage.
Well, you do whatever you want to do.
To come on the stage.
You do whatever you feel like you need to do. I am asking you legitimate questions.
If you want to stay here to bully somebody who has mental problems and is proven, laugh. Okay, I'm sure none of you in the audience have any mental problems.
I am asking you legitimate questions. If you do not acknowledge what's going on here, this will never heal.
Did I ever say that I wasn't responsible for this once?
Yes.
Okay, then you misunderstood me.
Well, apparently I did, because you're saying that she has ownership in this, that you don't have ownership in them being online. What I want you to do, listen to me. I did not interrupt you when you were talking.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Did I not?
I apologize.
Okay, what I want you to do is understand. You have to understand, until she fully believes that you get the nature of the violation that you have perpetrated here, she will never have the ability to forgive you. She will never have the ability to start to rebuild a relationship and rebuild trust with you. At this point, she doesn't hear that from you. She hears you saying, wasn't me, I'm not the one that put those on there, I didn't intend to do that, she gave me permission, so I felt like it was okay for me to do it. You knew she didn't want you to do that, did you not?
On the porn site, yes. Definitely.
No, I get that, but I do think that you need to understand she feels violated, that you took them and that you showed them to someone else. Even if she had sent you pictures in her earlier days, those were for you. That's different than somebody else. Do you not get that?
I get that. Unfortunately, sometimes I have a problem expressing myself. I didn't mean for her to take ownership of it. I'm just trying to explain why I did it, and only why I did it. Not that it makes it right. Okay?
It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense because I was out of my mind at the time.
If what you're saying is that at the time you were doing this, you were in an altered state of consciousness, you were out of your head on pills and drugs or whatever, I can hear that. I get that. But when I hear you say, she has to own this, and it's the kids that did the most damage in this situation. That sounds crazy to me. If you're out of your head at the time with drugs and alcohol, I can hear that. I don't hear the other stuff.
The point that I wanted to make coming out here is my wife's depression, the way she is, period. There are other factors before and after this happened that led her here. But what she does now that she's sharing with people, I am the sole responsibility for the state that she's in. But she had instances long before this happened where she was walking for days saying that she wanted to kill herself randomly and crying at the drop of a hat. I'm not saying...
Because you put pictures of me on a porn site.
Can I finish what I'm saying?
That's where I got completely depressed.
We have to take a break here. So how long has this been going on? Is this a one-shot deal, or was it more than that? We'll talk about that when we come back. And can this be healed? We'll talk about all that when we come back. Now, you say you took about 20 pictures?
Well, the whole thing is when you take videos, obviously the frames per second, you don't have to take a lot of...
Yeah, but you did 20 screen grabs and posted them to your friend, to this person?
Which in return, he exchanged pictures with me. And
You told me that you took pictures of me so that you could go in the bathroom and be private. You didn't tell me that there was an exchange that he sent you pictures too. So that violates your whole other story where you only did it for one reason, and now you're saying you got other pictures.
I did tell you. I'll take a lie detector test if I didn't say this to you. I said the thing happened where I met him, where the excitement was back, was exchanging pictures with a total stranger. Stupid, asinine, totally responsible. I'm an idiot for doing that.
He sent you pictures of somebody?
Yes, his wife.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
That's new.
It is new because you didn't want to hear it.
Now I know that it's even beyond what
it is.
what I thought.
It is beyond. And also,
well,
too,
it's not
it's
good.
beyond also, too, it's not good.
It's not good.
I understand that, but you were in a
And our whole family's affected because they
what is
found
this,
it.
Thriller? What are you doing? Okay? You were in an inebriated state.
I can't. I can't.
Can I speak?
You're not going to do that to me.
Okay, I'm not going to do
rude.
that.
I'm not doing that. I'm not imitating you.
Okay, that's fine, but you're saying things that are not
rude.
truthful,
That's
Dad.
disgusting, and I'm not putting up with it.
Let me ask you something. Do you get what just happened here? She's here because she feels humiliated and hurt,
shameful,
and depressed and shamed. And she's trying to express to you how she feels. And you're saying that you are sincere, and in the middle of that, you choose to mock her.
If telling the truth is mocking somebody?
No, telling the truth is not mocking her, but saying, what are you in, Thriller now?
It's so funny.
That's
okay.
mocking
All right.
her.
That was stupid.
That's
I thought you were talking
belligerent,
about...
and it's mocking
All right,
her.
it was wrong, okay? I made a mistake. I'm wrong 1,000%. It was a nervous reaction. I made a mistake. It was a knee-jerk reaction. That's the truth. I came out here because I wanted to try to help my wife, regardless what anybody thinks about me.
Well, the way that you can help your wife is to gain an appreciation of the dynamics that are going on here. And I'm trying to get through to you. And how loud you talk, how long you talk, or how persistently you say it doesn't make it right. And she is no longer willing to just say, okay. And I'm trying to get you to understand that you don't need to lay down in front of a car. You don't need to get publicly thrashed. You just need to be willing to say, I understand what I have done to you. For whatever reason I did it. I understand its impact on you, and for that I am deeply, deeply sorry. It was wrong. I certainly have not heard that from you. I've heard you say the words, but I've heard them followed by but and defensiveness. I don't think that I have heard a sincere remorse from you yet. You have to first stop defending it and just say, you know, and I tell you what, there is not a woman on the face of this earth that would be okay with what you did. And you said you started taking these pictures just, what, in August of 12 or something?
A couple of months prior. 3 months prior.
Well, they've identified the background in these pictures going back to 3 different houses. This went back a long time.
And I really thought it was just from October or November this year when we
Right,
bought
and
a house.
You know what I said wrong? It didn't happen with such intensity up until that point, okay? I had said to you when I first came out here, we had you know what, I'm not going to come out here and bash. We had a history over the years, whether or not she said okay, didn't okay. At what point is it okay, and what point is it not okay? These pictures might have been taken, but as far as the frequency, what they happened, it didn't accelerate till 3 months before. That's what I meant to say. And that's the truth.
If
I'm not
it was
lying.
okay,
I know the way
why
it
was her
looks.
head
You can
down
probably
every
dig and
picture?
find something from like 2008, 2009. I misspoke. I misunderstood. I didn't
I
say
think it's important that what you don't want to do, if you're going to try to get this behind you, is you don't want to get it out and then find out that there was something else. You want to get it all on the table with her. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
All right, next, we're going to talk to Henry and Deborah's son, who says he has absolutely no respect for his father now. I hope this changes. I hope this heals. People make mistakes. I'm not trying to justify this, but there's a point at which you have to say, how do you go from where you are to some point of healing in a family situation? We'll be right back.
Words can't begin to explain how upset and disappointed I am with my father. My dad's a sick person with a perverted mind. I don't see him as a father figure.
Me and my daughter had an altercation where she actually spit in my face and called me and everything under the sun. I'm not going to make a concerted effort to reconcile my kids because I did everything in the world for them. My daughter knows that. My son knows that. I don't want to say I don't care about them. I love my daughter. I love my son. My main focus is my wife.
Michael says his dad is a disgusting human being with a sick, perverted mind. Take a look at what he says.
Words can't begin to explain how upset and disappointed I am with my father. I don't trust my dad. He betrayed my whole family by putting up the photos. My dad's a sick person with a perverted mind. I don't see him as a father figure. My role model just completely stepped on my heart. He was always someone to talk to and to lean on, and pretty much my best friend. And now I have a hard time looking in his eyes. I don't believe anything he says. My mom should divorce my dad.
Michael, thank you for being here. What would you like to add to this conversation? What's your reaction to what's going on?
I think my dad needs to snap out of the fact that he's living in his own head and own up to what he did. And I just feel that as this day, it's never going to be the same as soon as we walk out of these doors. Because I know that the divorce is going to happen and my family is going to be split and torn. And that's the last thing any family wants.
You haven't said anything for a while. I've been having conversations here with Henry. I've been trying to express to him the gravity of the situation, how I think he needs to regard this situation to have any hope of moving forward here.
What do you have to say? I could say right now that we need to move on, all of us in a separate format. That's what I know is going to be better than what it is right now.
What is your hope here?
My hope, oh my goodness, my hope is to be close to people that I trust, know, and love, and that's my family back in New Jersey, and too isolated and lonely in Florida. Mm-hmm. Because it's my daughter's here, but the one who violated me is here, and I don't want to be in the same state. When I landed on the plane, I got nervous. I was like, he's here. I live with this wall up, and I want to start chopping the wall down. I just don't know how. But I know this is not who I am. I used to be so much fun, and now all I do is cry and say I'm sorry. I need to know there'll be light at the end of the tunnel. I need to know I can get past this violation. How do you get out of that? How do you do that? So I started to communicate a little bit, because every time I spoke to people, I would cry. They didn't want to hear me crying anymore. I started emailing. Mm-hmm. He hacked my emails. He freaking read my emails. So.
Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
It is true.
Why did you get into her emails?
Because she let me.
Here's what's important for every one of you. You can't give away what you don't have. So the first preservation you have to do is of yourself. You have to take care of you.
Yes.
You can't be a mother. You can't be a wife. You can't be a daughter. You can't be anything if you don't take care of you first.
Yes.
And I've always, I've been a pilot since I was 16. And one of the things that my flight instructor taught me in the very beginning that was a really good lesson in life, he says, if you're like this in the airplane, don't make decisions about what to do. He said, first thing you do is get straight and level,
yes,
and then decide what you should do. First thing you need to do is get out of this emotional tailspin that you're in. And you are right now. If right now you need to go be with family in New Jersey, or you need to go sit on the beach, or whatever you need to do that. And right now, you feel very violated. I get that, but you're using really catastrophic language. Your life isn't over. Your life isn't devastated. He took some pictures he shouldn't have taken, and he wound up somewhere they shouldn't be. Being seen by people you don't know. That's not good. I don't mean to trivialize that, but it isn't the end of your life. What you need to do today is start getting yourself out of this depressive funk that you're in. And you need some help to do that.
Yes, I do.
And I want to get you that help to do that. I want to get you some professional help. I will get it for you in Florida, I will get it for you in New Jersey, or somewhere in between, or on the way. I don't care.
Thank you.
And I think that you are very confused right now. I think you're really confused. And I think you're lashing out in anger. And to me, anger is just an outward expression of hurt, fear, and frustration. And I will offer to provide you with some very serious help with that, to sort that out. And I think you two shouldn't even be in a dialogue right now about this relationship until both of you have an opportunity to kind of get a grip on where you are. And I'm offering to arrange that for you two, just as our gift to you.
That's great.
Back at home, okay, to help you with that. And I think that some things are going to come into very clear focus in a very short period of time.
Okay.
I want to see this family thrive. And will you thrive as a unit together? I don't know, but I think you will, at a minimum, support one another in whatever walks that you take. We'll take that a step at a time, because whatever he does, I want you to be proud of him, and whatever she does, I want you to be proud of her, and I want you to wish your father well and your mother well. And in order to do that, we all have to get past some pain and some hurt right now. Let's dial down the emotion and rhetoric here, deal with this, and then we'll see where this takes us. Okay, and I will start getting that put in motion right together, and then we will talk again.
Definitely.
Okay, can we do that?
Yes, but I do.
Okay, can we do that?
Thank you very much.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
All right, if you are unhappy in your marriage and are thinking about getting a divorce, there are 5 questions you should ask yourself before you do that. And I'm going to tell you what they are when we come back. Thinking about getting a divorce, there are 5 questions I think you should ask yourself before calling it quits. First, have you done everything, and I mean everything you can, to save and rehabilitate your marriage? Ask yourself this: do you have unfinished emotional business? Because if you do, you're not ready. Have you researched, planned, and prepared yourself legally for divorce? Are you ready to adopt a new standard of conduct with your children? Are you willing to create a new relationship as a co-parent? Think about all of those things, because divorce is not the easy way out. I would like to thank my guests today. This was not an easy thing to come and talk about, but I hope we've aired some things out today, and I hope y'all hear me when I say, let's everybody take a deep breath, let's calm down and have a chance to work on this some before we start making decisions. Thanks, everybody, for being here. We'll see you next time.
Music will change your life, change your life. Oh. Good job getting your water. I actually have a little more soda. Will change your life. Will change your life. Book of Mormon. Hello. Hello. Would you like to change religions? I have a free book written by Jesus. Is his mission. I think I'm going to add some Colby Jack on top. Even though that's probably more than enough cheese. As we've discussed, I like cheese. Ow! Well, I don't know why I shouted ow. That didn't really hurt as much. Habanero Jack. Ooh. I don't have any habanero Jack. I would 100% try that. What I currently have good sleep, Stacey. Lovely to have you here a little bit later so you can see my crazy, just amps up, baby. Just amps up. You know what I didn't notice? Hold on. Please hold. Did I get a... Oh, it did get delivered. Right at 8:01. Okay, so my new stuff got delivered. I have to go downstairs and get it. Have good sleep, Stacey. It's lovely to see you. No stream tomorrow night. Back on Sunday. I'm going out with my mom and aunt. Here, let's do this. Hugh, I also have a Monterey Jack in the fridge, but because this is having jalapenos in it, I decided we're going to stick with the Colby. Have good lurks, have good sleeps. Have a lovely weekend, my friend. It's going to be heckin' delicious. I redeemed a thing. Oh, I'm sorry, Ruzy. I missed it. Thank you for telling me. Good. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Is this Book of Mormon? Yes, it is Book of Mormon. Where all the stereotypes about people are told, because I guess the Mormons don't know anything about anybody else. That's me! Oh, sorry. I'm supposed to be talking in my New York accent. My excess New York accent. I don't know what you want from me. I mean, like, I talk in my New York accent, like, every fucking day. Like, that's just how it is. This is who I am. But this is, like, this is extra, and this is more, and this is just, I don't know what to tell you. This is just who I am. I'm just going to cut a little more. We're putting way too much cheese on the top of this bread because, hello, bread is delicious, and cheese is delicious. And then we're just going to, like, shred the last of this, okay? And then I just need to not also shred my thumb because it's already got a cut on it. All right, there we go. Do not repeat that. Thank you. I find this to be one of the best, like, comedy musicals. Okay, I'm back. And I feel like I'm hearing a fourth generation New Yorker talk. Oh my God, you are. Hello, Coho! I will tell her you said that tomorrow. How are you today, Coho? We are making cheddar jalapeno bread. Also did the voice of Olaf. Yes, he was the original Elder Cunningham. Josh Gad is very fucking talented. How is my Coho today? I am a lot. Fair. I hear you on that. I've had a emotional week from hell. So there's that. Brain doing its bullshit. Reminders of my father. You know. Here he is. Yes, Josh Gad. But also, Andrew Rannells is in this too. He's the other one. This is Andrew Rannells. Andrew Rannells. I can speak. All right. Now. Screw emotional hell weeks, I say. Yay! I mean, tell him to go fuck off. At least, Cohen, I had therapy this week, so I was able to just, like, blather at my therapist for an hour today. That is good, yes. Yes. Okay. All of our accoutrement is ready for our... Ow, motherfucker. Our, honestly, of all the things I've done, it's one of the best things I've done. Because there's a place of, and obviously I lucked out in this, not obviously, but I lucked out in the sense that the person that I was originally matched with, because I used a company called Headway. I was recommended by my doctor to Headway, or referred, I guess, and they, like, ask you questions, and they find somebody in your network who takes your insurance and, like, well, hopefully has, like, dealt with some of the things that you want to talk about. So I lucked out in the sense that the person that I have been talking to, I've literally been talking to for 4 years, since September. But it's one of the few places that I feel like I can say any fucking thing. And maybe I get yelled at a little, because she's also a New Yorker, so, like, I kind of, like, that's our thing, if you will. But also, like, it's, like, no bullshit. But I think that's what I need, personally. Cheesecake bars. Who's ready for cheesecake bars? Who's ready for cheesecake bars? Until filling is set, let's check the filling. It's actually pretty good. I swear I had a second oven mitt. I swear it exists. Oh, it's right here. I mean, obviously I'm not really getting yelled at, but, like, some of the sass that I give, like, think about it. Give me a 2-minute timer, please. Half a cup heavy cream. Fuck you, God. Thank you, baby. Oh, Lumpling, permission to share an online radio station with your Discord, my friend. Yeah, absolutely. Put it. I think there's like a music-y channel. Dude, put it in there. 100%. There's like a